Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream, the Jimmy Dore Show live stream. I don't have my hat on because I woke up and I was having a pretty good hair day. So I was like, I'll keep it. I'll keep the hair day.
It looks great, Jimmy.
Thank you.
It really looks nice.
I'm here with the Brownie Dore. Hey, hi, Brownie Boy Dore.
People have been requesting more brownie.
Hi, everyone.
I've got opinions.
I have things to say. Rough. And Steph the Miserable Liberal is here, and Ron Placone is here.
Hey, everybody.
I am miserable.
Anyway, so here, I just want to remind everybody, so the government is shut down. You know it's shut down. And what people don't really know, I don't think they know yet, is how much the Democrats are willing to give up. First of all, let me just do this. Here's Joe Scarborough. Here's what he had to say earlier this week.
I was stacking stuff up. Do you know what I figured out, Democrats, last night? It's unbelievable. Republicans have a majority in the House, and they have a majority in the Senate, and they have the President of the United States. So if they can't keep the government open, it's their fault.
That's like a eureka moment for
No,
me.
it's unbelievable.
So there you go. So there's that. I'll play you one more. Here we go.
To finish what I was saying, Democrats, Republicans own Washington, D.C. You should not give them a single vote in keeping the government running. That's their job. This is their government. This is their Congress. This is their presidency. The American people said they wanted Republicans to run Washington, D.C. Let them run Washington, D.C. Don't give them a single vote unless they give you a clean bill on Dreamers. If you do, let me say again, you are too weak and too spineless.
And too stupid.
And too stupid when it comes to politics, and too cowardly to be given control of Congress in 2018. Listen to the people in the streets. Listen to the people that knock on doors, that are going to be making phone calls for you in 2018. Don't do a deal with this guy. No DACA, no deal.
So I hate to break it to you, but they are not. First of all, I'll go one further.
Well, Joe, if they don't do that, they're clearly in the wrong business because they don't understand when they're playing from a position of sheer strength.
And what did the Democrats do? Well, they did this. Here's Chucky the Shoom. There is still bipartisan deal from Senators Durbin and Graham to protect Dreamers. Ready for this? Here it goes. And fund the president's full request for the wall. You heard Joe Scarborough. You heard his pretend regular guy next to him, Mike Barnacle. They all said it. Willie Geist, the Help thing, the other guy. They all said it. They all know it to be true. Do a clean deal. Don't deal with this guy. You have all the power. They need you to keep government open. And here's Chucky the Shoom. Gonna fucking fully fund the wall. I don't know if does that drive anyone else crazy besides me? How do both of you feel about this?
Well, I can't imagine how, fully funding a wall most Americans don't want that the president promised another country would pay for.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how just giving him what he wants in this regard could be a bad move politically. I mean, gee, how?
Why would you do that? You get points for standing up to the wall. You get points for standing up for DACA.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that deal?
Especially when I think, aren't there 1 million Dreamers? And
there's
how is this?
800, I think 800. Well, DACA and Dreamers, they say there's a distinction between them.
Okay.
But the number I've heard is around 800,000. That's what I've heard.
That's the number you always hear, yeah.
When you think about it, who do the Democrats represent? Who are the Democrats representing in this deal?
No doubt.
Obviously, they're representing their own self-interests and their donor party.
And we're going to get to that, too, also. You're right. That's a good point. So I just want to let everybody know that the Democrats willing to give away fully funding the wall and they still couldn't get the deal, which they don't even need to do. And you know why? Well, because Joe Scarborough just told you why. Because who's going to get blamed? The frickin' Republicans.
Well, Joe, if they don't do that, they're clearly in the wrong business because they don't understand when they're playing from a position of sheer strength, which is what they are now, because they're playing up against the president. You just described it, and you just described the situation that the Democrats are in as opposed to the weakened Republicans because of the president. But
so here's C-SPAN has a poll. C-SPAN has a poll. Who do you blame for the government shutdown? 46% blame the president. 14% blame Congress. 40% blame the Democrats. That's a very unscientific poll on Twitter. But look what they're trying to slip in. So here's a Republican congressman. They're trying to push the hashtag Schumer shutdown. Not working. Not working.
Well, and one thing I'll say, too, like just for predictability's sake, even if it does have some effect in the short term, I mean, keep in mind what happened in 2013. When that happened, initially people were upset with the Republicans. When it was the other way around, people didn't go along with the Republicans. But in 2014, when it was time for the midterms, you know that shutdown played into people's weariness towards Democrats and Obama. And look what happened in the midterms. Republicans did pretty well. I mean, that same thing would happen here.
They're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And the Democrats, and you know how I know the Democrats don't clearly understand that? Because they offered to give away full funding to the wall. And here's the 5 MFers who voted with Trump.
Oh, do I see Doug Jones there?
Yes, Doug Jones
Doug
immediately
Jones.
puts the knife in the back of the 98% poor black women who put him in frickin' office. Immediately sticks the knife in the back.
You know, Jimmy, I know you're avoiding calling people pieces of shit.
I'm not going to call him that.
Okay, but he's verging on, well, right now he's a piece of.
He's a piece of. It's funny. There are the Democrats who voted with Trump and the Republicans. You just heard Joe Scarborough. You heard Mike Barnicle. They're in a complete position of power.
Guys, we shouldn't be so hard on Doug Jones. I mean, if you just found out you were slightly more popular than a pedophile, wouldn't it go straight to your head too? I mean, he's just
so
he's
trying. This is Doug Jones trying to get people who didn't vote for him to like him. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Because Democrats. By the way, Doug Jones was chosen by donors, right? They're all chosen by frickin' donors to be weak. They're all chosen to be weak.
Before you leave that slide, can I just have one quick thing? Joe Manchin has never been on the right side of anything, and Paula Jean Swearengin is awesome.
And Paula Jean Swearengin is awesome.
There.
She is awesome. So the latest is that Senator Stabenow said in a vote on the 3-week funding bill would be Monday, implying Democrats are objecting to a vote today being Saturday. So that's the latest on that. So just so you know, Democrats again trying to F things up as hard as they can. So there was one more I wanted to show you from Senator Dick Durbin. Can you read that? It says, our bipartisan deal gives the president everything he asked for. Then that's not a negotiation. You just give, hey, what do you want? What do you want? All right. They're bragging that they're giving Trump everything he asked for. Wow. Hashtag the resistance.
Yes. No kidding, right? Are they afraid they're going to lose more votes ever?
Steph, they're bragging. They're bragging that they're funding the wall. They're bragging that they're giving Trump, who's supposed to be an existential nightmare, disgusting, shocks Michelle Obama to her core. And what are they doing? Giving him everything he ever asked for, including a bloated military budget. Isn't that amazing?
You know what else is interesting is that corporate Democrats will point out who won the popular vote whenever it comes time to smear a progressive, but they'll never point that out when it would actually help them politically,
Right.
i.e. standing up against the wall, being like, look, this president did not win the popular vote, which means most Americans are opposed to this wall.
Right.
They don't want the wall. They realize it's a waste. Even a lot of conservatives are against this wall.
They're supposed to do that, Ron, and they're supposed to say the president has to negotiate with us.
Exactly.
He's got to come to us. But again, whenever Democrats win, that's a great time for bipartisan legislation. And whenever Republicans win, they have a mandate, and Democrats are supposed to go along.
And let's not forget, Nancy
Never
Pelosi already told us that the Democrats are going to continue to do the same
Same
thing
thing.
they did before that lost them 1,000 seats.
And let's remember, so there is going to be a Democratic wave come up just because of the way what she was referring to. Nancy Pelosi said, well, every 2 years the country wants to switch back and forth because you don't offer them anything. So when there was that blue wave in 2006, there was a big blue wave. The Democrats took over the House and the Senate. Big blue wave. And then they got Barack Obama in 2008. That all went away like that. That all went away like that. Barack Obama's first midterm. Amsgrade. So there's your Democrat. There's your leaders bragging that they're funding the wall. Am I out of my mind? Or did no one see that coming? I did not. I knew the Democrats were shitty. And I knew that when people wagged their finger at me for not voting for Hillary Clinton, that there would come a day when I could stick it in their face. And there's been plenty of those days already. How about the frickin' Pentagon funding bill? But this is unbelievably stunning. You're going to keep voting for this shit. Anybody could do a better job than the Democrats are doing. Anybody could do better. Oh, Jill Stein doesn't know how things work. There is a guy, there is Mike Barnacle and a panel full of politicos when it's such an easy call, even those guys get it right. Telling you that if the Democrats don't demand a clean DACA bill, they're in the wrong fucking business. But people will wag their finger at me and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Even though we've been almost 1,000% right about everything we said would happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats have proved yet again they are the Washington Generals of political parties. Except it's actually fun when you get to watch the Washington Generals get paid to lose. That's enjoyable.
Well, I'm just depressed. I am depressed. I'm depressed that we've been talking about how the Democrats seem to not be fighting for us. And here they are, like, screaming at the top of their lungs how they're not representing the needs of the people whatsoever. It's awful. Yes. It's awful. Watch your eating by the mic.
Well, and we never talked about the wall, like, at all because the president said shithole. I mean, that's
right?
Pretty much like that was an opportunity to really talk about the wall. And that was an opportunity for Democrats to be like, look at how tone deaf this person is as an individual. And speaking of tone deaf ideas, let's talk about the wall now that we're not going to fund. They had an opportunity to make a perfect pivot to that. Did they do it? No, not at all. They didn't even touch it.
Well, did Democrats ever really come out and scream at the top of their lungs that we weren't helping Puerto Rico enough?
No.
Nope.
No. Our buddy Jim Keedy actually went down there. So
Jim Keedy, the Fighting 4th District in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Big fans.
Everybody should help out Jim Keedy. Keady. All right, so there you go. That's our story. Please make sure you're subscribed, even if you think you are, you're probably not. Oh, I'm going to do a story about that coming up.